So for an upcoming game session, I'm designing an encounter that will take place inside a crystal-filled cavern. And so I came up with these crystal terrain pieces to go with the encounter. And I thought I'd just make this short little video to show you how I created them. Went to Michael's and picked up these beads from the bead gallery. They're as close to a crystal in this kind of bulk size that I could find. They come on a string, and cut the string, and you have loose individual beads, basically for making jewelry, I suppose. But for my purposes, they look like natural crystals, and they were the best that I could find. So I went ahead and picked those up. I think they were $5 or $4.99 for the strand. And then to go with that, I found by the same company these smaller beads that look like little bits of amber that match it close enough in color that I can use to accent the larger crystals. So I based them on wooden discs and primed them black. These are just basic wooden discs. I think these are 50 cents each. And then for the smaller ones, I bought a bag of wooden discs, and it comes in, there's like, I think 150 or 130 for a couple of dollars. So I just primed those black and then broke out the glue gun and secured them all. And with more glue, I inserted the smaller crystals in there. And then stealing a trick from DM Scotty, I trailed out some of the hot glue and went over it with a coat of a gray-green coloration to try and make it look a little cavernous underneath, and then dry brushed on a coat of a mixture of colors, red and white and orange, to try and get a peach color to hopefully match. Okay, so when you have your glue gun heated up, you can just go ahead and apply a dollop, and then set the crystal in there. And because they're angled on the bottom, they stand like you'd want them to stand, with the crystal sort of jutting up out of the ground surface. And they're thick enough that that the weight of the crystal isn't enough to make it topple, so they set almost immediately. I can take a smaller one and put it down in the middle there, just get a little drop of glue, just set it in there. Let's try adding another one over here. And let's try one more. Maybe a smaller cluster of crystals are starting to grow off to the side here. If you've seen any of the videos by DM Scotty, I'm sure you're familiar with these techniques. Clean off the hairs, and then I've just taken the glue gun and smear out some of the glue to the edge of the circle to make it a little more interesting. So I'll set this one aside and wait for the glue to set, and just take this one to show you the paint job. This is one I just did a few minutes ago. And so for the paint, basically just dry brushed on a green, murky green with some gray in it, trying to get the piece to look like it's been in a dank cavern for a long time. And this is just a quick dry brushing. I'm trying to hit the areas in between the glue so that it's the wooden platform that's being painted. And now that that paint's dry, I'm just going to hit the glue. It's a little bit too wet. I'm just going to hit up the areas that have been textured with the glue, and to bring out the peach color that matches the color of the crystal, more or less. One last detail I added to the pieces were these small little crystals or gemstones that I've sprinkled in amongst the larger crystals to possibly draw in the characters, to entice them to approach the crystals in hopes of extracting some valuable gemstones. And basically I just tucked these red, clear, and black crystals in amongst the pieces that I just finished. And these were picked up at a dollar store. They're Jolie's Jewels. They were $3 for a pack. And I thought that at some point I might make a treasure trove or something, or have them scattered around in a dungeon for the characters to come across. They're little tiny beads. But this looked like a good time to use some of them, and so I think they add a little color and make them a little more interesting. So that's just an easy way to make some cavern terrains for a crystal cavern. These are going to be used in an upcoming session for my D&D 3.5 game, and at some point down the road, when I get caught up, I'm going to be going through the encounter, and you'll see these in action. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.